What is going on, people? Welcome back. Johnny here, and I've been putzing around waiting for the Slayers to show up. And I noticed this thing was broken down. That is a major liability, man. On that note, I think I would totally claim, at least, if this were going to drag out for another 5 or 10 episodes, which it shan't, I would totally wall this off and claim these things. And I feel like you cannot have an infestation occurring. That would just be devastating. If they got inside, it would be ugly. And yeah, could be definitely and relatively easily could be the demise of this entire enterprise here. So if that were the case, pretty soon we're going to be harvesting food like no one's business. So I would do that. I'd open this up some more. Probably it would be nice just to cut straight across here. You know what? If we just clean this up, we'll just open that whole thing up. Yeah, that'll be fine. Oh, we're gonna have to take this out too. I just got sick of watching them come this way and then walk over here to get around. So I was opening up a little corridor there as well, just to pass the time. These Slayers are 1.8 days away, and I am about as excited as I could be. I need to keep an eye on this, man. When this thing starts blinking, saying there's no steam, you got yourself a major problem, potentially. Some Ogres showed up, but they didn't have anything to trade. A couple Noblars with them. So it is getting to 30 degrees at night. 29 degrees. It's probably time to pull the harvest maneuver. Because one cold snap kills everything. And I'll be very bad at this point. When we need those hops and barleys for making beer. Most notably Bugman's beer. I see a lot of it getting stuffed in here already. So it is cold enough in here. What was this? Steel, improved, dowie, great, something. Axe. Okay. Why did that never get finished? Where do I even find such a thing? There it is. Details, Stonebeard. Alright. Do that one time, friend. Finish that job for me. What else would I find laying around uncompleted here? A stupid wooden club sitting there. Yeah, this has been quite the project. We've come a long, long way from a few dwarfs living in a little wooden shack over here, that's for sure. 3 to be exact. Anyway, yeah. How fantastic, huh? Oh yeah, see, they just kick ass on harvesting, man. I'm not even going to make them haul it until they get it all brought in. We stopped sowing a while ago because they'll just continually sow it even though it's all going to freeze and die. So I turn it off when I start seeing freezing temperatures every year. No one's mining now. Where the hell is Stonebeard? He's asleep. He's the king and he goes out and mines every day. See, that's the kind of stuff dwarfs do, right? Like, that's legit, man. You really don't get a lot in terms of what do you get per? 4? 4. 3 or 4, looks like. Although I might have only gotten 2 on some of those. That is, I guess okay. What are you going to do, right? Grow more of it. It's also very valuable, so I'm sure they did that intentionally with the Devil Strand. Alright. Callan has a bed. Make sure all the Thanes have proper beds. I guess Callan's the only one that's gone. I can declare another Slayer Thane, but that means making a whole nother throne room and a bedroom. Mostly the beds take so much effort to make, and these stupid fancy chairs. I don't feel like I have it in me right now. Still trying to set up the next playthrough and working through all these mods that I've never used and don't know anything about. And a lot of them aren't, the ones I want to use, many of them aren't updated for 1.5. They got dropped. Sometimes you can find a continuation of it by someone else, but that's not always the case. We're doing what we can do. Somebody asked me if I was going to try to hoard gold next. If it was more abundant, it's not so much the abundance of gold that prevents me from doing that. It's the fact that so many things use gold to construct. So you end up in this alright, no, that rotted away in storage. So you end up like using these supplies, but needing to also keep them. Why can't I harvest these? They're harvestable at 60 something %, right? Apparently not with these. That's interesting. Oh, never mind. They already set the harvest. I was just zoomed out too far to see the command. Okay, never mind. So anyway, yeah, so if you did gold, I don't know. You could get by, if you did like 100,000, you'd probably get by with like, what does it hold, 4,000 each? So 25 shelves in a much smaller room versus this massive thing. How big did this end up being? Plan it out. 37 by 34. That was all organic, really. I just mined in here and made this, and then made this around it after the fact. You gotta honor the ancestors and the dead Dowie over the silver, right? That seems fitting anyway. They're almost done with the full harvest already. That happened phenomenally quick, which I'm pleased with. These rooms are going to be bursting with stuff as well. As soon as these guys get back, Bugman's is on the menu, man. Maybe I should make more of these. How many do I have? 29. Hey, we have the material and the time, so a couple more aren't going to hurt. Another trader showed up. Bam. Just a dude, though. Not a full-on trader. Chopping wood. Building all those barrels really diminished my wood supply. We have a ton of stuff we're trying to keep fueled with wood and coal. So, where are you dudes going? Oh, they're mining over there. Nice. Yeah, that would be in anticipation of closing this area off nicely. Which we'd certainly have the granite for still. 1 day left. Then it's going to be the tedious job of stripping manually all those critters of gear, doing a bunch of deconstruction, etc. We're at 945,391 at the main hold, and the Slayers have over 100,000 with them. Inbrag is holding court. Nice, that's our new thing. I didn't even really check Inbrag's social skill. I don't think it was very good. Oh, he's 10. It should turn out fantastic, right? Not everybody's going to attend, it appears. It's weird that I only took one aesthetic pawn that whole entire time. Must just be a more rare trait with dwarfs, but you wouldn't think that would be the case. This dog, what are you doing, dog? I haven't done any training for a while. I guess actually I have. For some reason the dogs don't seem to reproduce. Is Mastiff 2... And maybe you can't be pet. Oh, your tail and your leg are removed. It's a tough life being an animal in RimWorld. So were this to continue on, this is roughly what this place would look like. We'd have some egress points from the mountain over here. 3 layers of sturdy dwarfen walls. A couple more geothermal captures. And solid gates over here. And probably I would take that out as well. Maybe I just put my gate back here, but whatever. Yeah, and then we wouldn't have to worry about Steam breaking down again. Because, again, that could potentially end this place. I mean, we have the armor. I think we'd be fine as long as we didn't burn ourselves to death like I did last time. We'll be alright. I'm doing some hunting because we're a little bit short on animal fat. I turned too much of it into chem fuel and then into black powder. Way more than we usually have. That's been one of our big money makers too. Black powder. How are we doing for wood? I did a ton of chopping and Actually, they didn't get to it all, but we're up to 2,300, so we're sitting pretty in that regard again. I can actually allow all these at this point and get that planted now that the outside stuff is all dealt with. Massive, massive harvests. We have hops galore. Should be a ton of barley and hops chilling in here. We can make cigarettes with all the tobacco we gathered. The harvest is in. Is this set for mining? Might as well. Looks kind of off, just sticking out like that. No dwarf would let the mountain look off, right? It gives me a bunch more chunks to play with. Anyway, these dudes are 0.1 day away. Alright, guess who's back, people? The Slayers have returned. Now I gotta strip all these dudes manually. Once they get in here anyway. Alright, I think that's everybody. We got all this stuff, but then we have all of this. I think I got them all. There may be some missing. I guess we haul all the silver, and then I'm just gonna try and get... why does it not... if I do this... I don't understand why it doesn't just select them all for deconstruct. That's a whole nother tale. Well, that'll give them something to do for a day until they get everything deconstructed and hauled away. I'm also going to wait until the buffaloes all get sheared before I correct the slaughter jobs on those. Silver Dowie plate. That's fantastic. We should smelt that. That's probably the only silver Dowie, or only Dowie. No, I have some here too. Steel. Okay, let's select all these on the map. Oh, we're good. So let's put a high priority smelt barrel. Do one time. Clear all. Dwarfen plate. There you go. Well, they're making good progress, just mostly deconstructing stuff. It doesn't make sense to haul it and then deconstruct it when there's really nowhere to put it. It just causes a bunch of confusion. So, yeah, and there's still a lot of silver laying about. And there's some jerky over here. God knows who made that, but there it is. I have to consume it regardless. Here, this thing cannot be hauled. Deconstruct, there you go. Notice there's a few odds and ends. There was some Skaven. Oop, that can be deconstructed. This one can be deconstructed. Are there any others of those? Anyway, there was some silver Skaven armor laying around. So I'm going to make sure we get everything hauled and put away. See what ends up on the deconstruction shelf over here before we commit to the end. I want the final total as the episode title. On the final episode, we're almost about to break 1 million, and we still have a ton laying about here. So at the end, I had 46 dwarfs, many slayers, probably more regular dwarfs than slayers, but yeah, that's a lot of dudes. And we turned down a bunch. I could have been taking more, but at some point I just called it. Half tempted to just deconstruct all these too. It's fine. It's fine. There's still more out here, actually. Steam pipe. And there was a mega sloth creeping, but he's not creeping anymore. Oh gosh, look at all these bedrolls too. I guess they'll repair them if they're not in good shape. Now we've nearly got everything hauled. There's still some silver. I'm trying to get them to take the perishable things in first. And we got an ogre trader. Wherever the hell they went. Over here. It's a very dark night here. All the plants are finally dying, so it's a good thing we got our harvests in when we could. Some of these are actually harvestable yet. Because it doesn't hurt. Nab a little more for all the efforts we put into... these I don't think die during the winter, so let's do a cancel across that one. There you go. I'm going to treat this trader like I would if we were going to carry on, because I could sell everything that doesn't matter and get all their money, but in the interest of fairness and where it would go if I continued, That's about what I'd be comfortable selling them. There's still a ton of crap we haven't repaired and all that, but... And that, after I grab all that and haul it in, it's gonna be the end here. Plants are dying because of cold. Looks like I'm gonna need a few more shelves to get all this stuff in here. That's fantastic. It's actually ending up in here. I'm gonna make sure it all ends up in one place before the end too. Have to have some kind of legitimate conclusion, some completeness to our world. Another ogre trader just showed up. I have animals coming in that really shouldn't be. I don't suspect I'll have anything to trade that guy. But since they're still hauling silver, I guess we have time to look. This could go on indefinitely, so I'm gonna call it. This is going to be the last episode once I get all the silver put in there. Alright, keeping it fair, not selling things we really would like to keep if we weren't gonna call it here. 6,200 more. Let's not put any silver in here, and then we're good to go. So look how far we've come. That was quite the undertaking. We've been around the world map, I don't know, 10 times? Who knows? Who can count? We could certainly massively grow this yet. We got space for whatever we want back here. Duplicate workstations. It's kind of out of the way and far to walk, which is why I never did much with it, but way more space to grow all of our food inside if we were so inclined. We could certainly claim all this. We never even strip mined it to see if there were silver veins, gold veins, anything else valuable back in there. And the same's true of all the space on the other side of this, which I would have done eventually had we hung on and hung out indefinitely. And yeah, we almost filled all of our shelves too. Again, if I wouldn't have made more, we would have. Who's got the silver? There they are. Dirtle might be doing. Dirtle, who once was a patron, may still be, but that was a long time ago, so I doubt it. Carrying the last of the silver home. Very nice. Oh, if you've hung out this long, you're a champion, and I appreciate it. I won't say more than you know, but it's been brutal, but I committed, and here it is. Who else is headed down here? Anybody? That's how you can tell if there's any. Yeah, okay. There's others coming. Wow. I'm excited to do something else. Something sci-fi after all this medieval mess, huh? Final tally on the silver, 1,074,638. You can really carry this on as long as possible. Let's take a final look at this. We got some mad boomalopes, but we also have some ogres hanging out that I think will deal with that mess for us if they get past the traps. So there you go. Bam. That's what 1,074,638 silver looks like, people. Thanks again. I love you all. And yeah, I'll see you around.